brave new world.
I have called the members of the upper staff of the plant here for a necessary but unfortunate reason. As director of the Central Hatcheries plant, I have a special responsibility to see that its reputation remains absolutely spotless. Unfortunately, a blemish has appeared. A blemish that, if allowed to remain, could tarnish the reputation of the entire plant. I speak, of course, of Mr. Bernard Marx. I have, if I may say so, been overly indulgent with Mr. Marx. His work record has been deficient in all respects. Still, that could possibly be overlooked. But Mr. Marx's morals, or should I say, lack of morals, cannot be ignored. He has been officially observed alone on numerous occasions. He has twice refused to attend High Holy Synthosex services, and that is by no means the complete extent of his immorality. Mr. Bernard Marx has engaged with only 3 females in the last year. Therefore, I have decided to request his immediate transfer to the free island of Iceland. And I'm sure, after what you've heard here of Mr. Marx's record, each of you approves of my decision. Marx there?
Yes, but there's also...
Doesn't matter, whatever it is can wait. Send him in. Well, Mr. Marx, I suppose you know why you've been summoned here today?
Yes.
I've decided to make an example of you, so that it will be clear that deviance and immorality will not be tolerated. That is why, as you see, I have called the staff together, so that they may derive the proper moral lesson from witnessing your disgrace and your dismissal.
Good.
Good?
Yes, good. I'm glad they're all here.
Mr. Marx, you seem to be taking this very lightly. But perhaps once you've been transferred to the island of Iceland, you'll begin to realize...
Just one moment.
Do you realize that you're interrupting me?
Yes, I realize that. But there's something of particular interest that I would like to bring to your attention.
I'm not interested in anything you have to show me, Marx.
I think you'll be interested in this, Director.
Where is he? Where's my ptarmigan? Oh, that's him. Of course it is. Did you really think I wouldn't recognize him, my very own ptarmigan?
Stop it. What are you doing? Get away from me.
Don't you remember me, ptarmigan? Don't you remember your little Lindikin?
Get this awful creature away from me. I have no idea who she is. I've never seen her before in my life.
Well, yes, you have. You took her to the Savage Reservation with you.
It's me. You're Lindikin.
You can't be. You're dead. The female I took with me, she died. It's a lie. Marx, he's the one. He's behind this.
I didn't die, ptarmigan. The savages found me and took me to their village. And I couldn't leave because of our John.
John? John, what are you talking about? Oh, the shame of it. The shame of it. My whole reputation gone. After years of dedicated work. Not a single moral blemish on my computer file. I never allowed myself to engage the same female 3 times in 1 month. I faithfully attended orgy services each and every week. It just isn't fair.
Yes, I see your point. But unfortunately, your past good record cannot undo the scandal.
Well, it's his fault. He planned it all.
Surely not all of it. Bernard wasn't even in his embryo bag when you went to the Savage Reservation with Linda Lysenko.
It wasn't my fault.
Perhaps not, but it did happen.
I know. I know. Everyone's snickering at me and pointing at me. I just can't face anyone again. I just don't know what to do.
Well, it's just a thought, but maybe if you went away somewhere far away.
Yes, someplace where they won't know about me.
I see. You want to transfer.
Yes. Yes, to transfer to someplace where they won't know about this awful scandal, where I won't be the object of ridicule.
I've heard there is an opening with the hatchery substation on Iceland.
Iceland? Yes, that sounds remote enough. Would you see that his transfer to Iceland is put through immediately?
This way.
That awful Linda creature, she isn't out there, is she?
No, she didn't come. Just your son.
Oh, no. No.
Perhaps you better take him the other way.
What a shame.
Yes, I could tell how deeply you were affected by his predicament, Mr. Marks.
Well, I mean, it is sad. A man who's given so much to so many out like that.
Oh, then you've modified your opinions of our society, I take it.
You know, your fortune. I don't know who's been telling you things like that about me.
That's of no consequence now. You seem to have been making quite a splash with your Savage.
Oh, it's amazing. People are clamoring. I've received telecalls from some of the most respected people. Everyone wants to know what he's really like.
Yes, I'm sure. But for the moment, I'm much more concerned with what he thinks of us. I'm going to leave you in charge of him. But of course, I will require complete reports on everything he does. You understand?
Yes, of course, your fortune.
So this is the Savage. Well, come in.
I'm summoned forth.
But you'll get to come and see me, won't you?
Is that allowed?
Oh, yes, that's allowed here. In fact, required. But come along now. You'll have time for that later.
Fare thee well at once. Bernard.
What's going to happen to him?
As a matter of fact, I've just been given full responsibility over him by his fortune personally. I've been instructed to show him everything and to report back directly.
Oh. Well, that won't leave much time for engaging, will it?
I'm afraid I'm going to be rather busy.
I meant John.
Perhaps I can work something out for you.
Well, and what shall we call you?
My name is John.
But your last name, I mean. Why not Savage? Mr. John Savage, how does that strike you for a name?
It boots not. A rose by any other name would smell as sweet.
A rose. Oh, yes, of course.
You do not have roses here, do you?
Oh, I'm sure we do. In one of our nature nausea classes or museums.
The
Don't people wish to see flowers growing?
They did once, but we found that flowers are counterproductive. The time that could have been spent producing or consuming was wasted idly looking at flowers.
I'm afraid I do not understand.
Well, of course you don't. Yet, but you will. That is, if you stay with us.
You're not going to send me back?
No, no. Well, only if you wish. You see, Mr. Savage, here in our world, you may do anything you wish, be anything you wish, have anything you wish. Yes, and have anyone you wish.
Linda? Linda?
No, Mr. Savage, you mustn't disturb her. She's having her joy hour.
How do I know she's all right?
You can see for yourself. Just look at her.
If she is happy, then beasts that reason not and lack all discourse are happy. Linda. Linda.
Go away.
It's John, your son.
Go away. Selma! Selma! Selma!
Now see what you've done? You've completely thrown her off her soma schedule.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
That is all, Nanny Nurse. I'm Phillips Park Ludens, the chief dispenser. What is it, Mr. Savage?
Linda, I want to have her with me.
Quite out of the question.
But she belongs with me. She's my mother.
I will not tolerate that sort of dirty language in my dispensary, Mr. Savage. And if you plan to say any more filthy things like that, I'll simply have to ask you to leave immediately. This way, please.
I'm sorry. Forgive me. But I do want to have her with me.
I don't think you understand, Mr. Savage. Here we have her on a strict soma schedule. 2 happiness hours and 1 full joy hour a day. Without proper dispensary supervision, she would immediately soma coma.
And if she didn't get any soma?
Then she would, of course, scream incessantly. Is that what you want?
Oh, no. But this soma, aren't you actually shortening her life by giving her so much?
In one sense, yes. But in another, we're actually lengthening it. A megasoma coma is a bit of what the ancients used to call eternity.
Eternity? Eternity was in our lips and eyes. You mean that?
Not exactly. In any case, Mr. Savage, you can be sure we'll do everything possible for her here. Although, of course, nothing can save her.
You don't mean she's dying now?
No, not now. But of course, sooner or later, the megasomadosis will lead to paralysis of the respiratory sector. Her breathing will then cease, and she will die of terminal bliss.
I want to be with her. How soon will it happen?
It's difficult to say, especially in her case. The first sign is usually a brief reality relapse. Of course, you wouldn't want to see her then.
But I would.
Very well, Mr. Savage. I'll see that you're contacted.
To His Fordship, Mustafa Mond, Western World Controller, from Bernard Marx. Subject, John Savage. I first took the Savage to the great cathedral of our Ford. He was obviously inspired by the deep synthetic reverence of the worshippers, and I believe I was able to explain to him the rudiments of surrogate spirituality and placidic belief. John's tour of a senior kindergarten conditioning school was, under my close guidance, a complete success. Naturally, I couldn't explain all the educational intricacies such as advanced play math to him, but I believe that with my further help, he may well be able to grasp some of the simpler things such as nature, nausea, reinforcement conditioning.
Mom, why?
While the Savage was obviously charmed by the primary erotic play class, it did seem to raise a question in his mind. He asked again, where without mothers, where the children came from.
Now, Mr. Savage, I think you'll find this very interesting. After the embryos are bagged, they come along here for initial model selection.
At the moment, we're turning out redesigned deltas.
Oh, Juliet, move not. And on thy sweet lips would my soul be purged.
Mr. Savage, come along. I want to show you our all-new and fully improved Buchanowski embryomatic separator. One epsilon unit goes in, and out comes 60 reproductions, absolutely identical to the original in every production detail. Come along.
Did you sprinkle on additives or mix them in?
I'm sorry, please, no more questions. We must keep on schedule.
Are you engaging anyone tonight?
Perhaps. I'll give you a telecall. Thank you. John, hurry. We'll be late for the Ford State Synthesis service.
What are they doing?
These are the Delta workers receiving the daily ration of Soma.
At Linda.
Yes, not as much, but the same thing.
Why?
Why?
You said they were happy.
Well, of course they're happy. Everyone's happy.
Then why do they take the Soma?
Because it's prescribed. 3 after work and 6 on the Ford State.
Why, Bernard?
John, really, you must stop using that word.
Hold it! Over here, Mr. Savage. That's enough. We have to go on with our tour for Mr. Savage. No more pictures.
But we need a statement from him for the Daily Times. Say one of your funny things, Mr. Savage.
Go for a muse of fire that will ascend the brightest heaven of invention. A kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and nobles to behold the swelling scene.
It's wonderful. That's just perfect.
Should I go on?
Say something more, anything at all.
That's all. I'm sorry. We must go on with our tour. Now, you can all interview Mr. Savage later on. Right this way, Mr. Savage. I hope that none of that upset him. I mean, I do hope that you won't put anything unfavorable about our operation here in your report.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. You can count on me to leave out any minor matters, as long as we understand each other.
Oh, we do. We do, Mr. Marks, I assure you. Careful, Mr. Savage, not too close. What is this? Those are heliofusion tubes. You see, we take helium energy from the sun. The sun, up there, hot. Then we pipe it thousands and thousands of feet down there, underground, where it's turned into nuclear fusion energy. Bubble, bubble, fizz, fizz. Then back up comes fusion energy through those tubes. It's really quite simple.
Approach, thou beacon to this underglobe. And thou, all shaking thunder, strike flat the thick rotundity of the world.
Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. You will put that in your report, won't you? I mean that I explained everything to him.
What's wrong with them?
Oh, that's a batch of our especially substunted epsilon workers. As you can see, Mr. Savage, they were designed specifically for heliofusion work. The heat immersion pigment, or growth-inhibiting hormones. You will note that their bodies were designed to fit perfectly into the coils of the tubes.
Bernard, may we go? Oh, but we haven't seen the Delta Radiotrax workers yet. We haven't seen...
I must go. I feel a sickness of spirit. I'm sorry.
Oh, perhaps we'd better go.
But you won't put any of this in your report, will you?
We have to leave.
You're behind schedule. Take your elevator down for another batch.
Do you know you did extremely well the other day at electro-obstacle golf? I mean, for never having played the game before?
But it's not a game, Bernard. Everyone just sits at that machine and presses buttons, but no one runs or jumps or throws like in a game.
It used to be like that once, I think, with a round object that people used to hit this way and that with sticks. Naturally, not that many people could play at the same time. But as soon as they replaced these sticks and round things with machines, then, of course, more people could spend more time consuming more energy.
If no one plays, though, Bernard, why do you call it a game?
Because that's what it's called. Central Slumberatorium 2, priority.
Very good, sir. First level, pink beam.
What is this, Bernard?
This is the Slumberatorium Garden of the Departed Ones, and there's no need to whisper. Beautiful, aren't they?
Are they truly dead?
Oh, yes. Naturally, the departed ones aren't shipped here for formal cosmetic reconstitution until they've passed on. But I can assure you this is exactly the way each one looked in their real life.
What killed them?
Oh, nothing at all. By taking the correct chemicals, we all stay young till perhaps 80, 90. That's when the metabolic strain causes PPO. That's peaceful passing on. Where is that writer from Creative Cremation? It's all right. You pushed the disposal button.
Where did he go?
Down to the chemo recovery furnace. The bodies are brought here for cosmetic reconstitution before cremation and final chemo recovery. That way the chemicals that are salvaged from the body are returned to usefulness.
Let's go.
And the individual goes on being part of the greater society forever.
Good. Do you want to play the plop-plop game? Yeah! Well, have you all finished your yum-yum soma candy?
Yeah!
Since you've all been very, very good on our whole death training picnic, I guess it's time for your reward. Each one gets one plop-plop.
Yay!
But just one. Go on. All right, children, all together.
Death is perfect, death is fun, death is good for everyone.
Good, very good. Let's do it again and show Mr. Savage here how we sing our We're Not Afraid of Dying song.
When there's no one left, sing a song of death. 420 courses baked in a stew, making pretty chemicals just for me and you. Death is perfect.
No, you don't understand! Death is darkest night! In that country from whose bourne no traveller returns. And none need court death, for death will come to each. So let us sit upon the ground and tell sad stories of the death of kings. Let us talk of graves.
Really, Mr. Savage,
Of
you
worms.
have completely ruined my death training class. Now I'll have to start all over again with them. Come on, children. We'll go back to the Dying Inn Hospital and have a fun picnic. Come along. Come on. If you ask me, I think you'd better start educating your Savage, Mr. Marks. Come on.
I'm sorry, Bernard. I seem to have done something wrong.
John, this incident is strictly between you and me.
And the Savage then completely disrupted an advanced simple philosophy course by asking strange questions of the students.
What sort of questions exactly?
Well, here, for instance, she asked them to explain to him why life was a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing, some sort of primitive gibberish, obviously.
Ah, yes. Macbeth. Yes, obviously, gibberish. How about females? How many has he engaged with so far?
None. I know it's incredible, but at least according to this report from Bernard Marks, that does seem to be the case. And despite several illustrated lectures on morality, he still seems to be attached to his...
His mother?
Yes, his mother. Decidedly unnatural.
For us, of course, but not for John Savage. Not yet.
Well, suppose he contaminates others with this sort of base animalistic attitude. Unnatural is unnatural.
Perhaps. But then that is precisely what the experiment is all about. To determine whether or not the Savage can adjust to a higher plane of morality. Of course, if that proves to be impossible, the experiment will have to be terminated.
Should I advise Bernard Marks of that?
No, I don't think so. After all, Mr. Marks is part of that experiment now, too.
I really think I've done wonders with this boy. Of course, you have no idea how difficult this sort of responsibility can be. Tours, interviews, lectures, and of course, our fortune wants me to report personally about the Savage.
Well, I suppose I should be quite impressed with you these days, Bernard.
Well, enough about me. Tell me about yourself, Helmholtz. What have you been doing?
Just a small piece of my own I've been working on. Maybe you'd like me to show it.
Oh, I would love for you to show it to me. The only problem is I don't have the time. I'm sorry. You do understand, don't you?
Yes, I think I do. You've changed, Bernard.
I'm not surprised that you noticed. Everyone has. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, Sigmunda Luce, that's the head of the Human Element Reconditioning Bureau, told me that everyone's been saying that I'm really a new, improved Bernard Marx.
What happened to the young man I used to be able to share inner concerns with and questions on the nature of free will? What happened to the young man who so often wondered what it would be like to live free of conditioning? What happened to that, Bernard Marx?
It was all computer-lesson nonsense. I've outgrown all that. I really must hurry now if I'm going to make my engagement with Sigmunda. Helmholtz, just a word to the wise from a friend. The sort of things that you were talking about before, inner concerns, free will, I really think you should be more careful.
I will.
Tonight? You're going to engage with the Savage tonight? How thrilling. Bernard arranged it. Oh, I really do envy you, Lenina. I mean, everybody's talking about you being interviewed by the Feely Tone News, being asked to lecture at the Young Women's Sportian Association, and being engaged by the president of the External and Internal Secretions Corporation. Oh, Bob, it's so wonderful. Except, what? Well, one part of it bothers me a little. The trouble is I feel like I'm getting all this attention under false pretenses. The first thing everyone wants to know is what's it like to engage the Savage. The trouble is, I just can't tell them. Because I don't know. You don't know? You mean you've never engaged with the Savage? Why not? I've given him every opportunity. There must just be something about me that he doesn't like. Although I can't imagine what it could be. Well, I don't know either. I mean, you're very nomadic. Well, maybe tonight will be different. We're going to see the new Feely, and then we're going to take a sense of pleasure tour. He's bound to be in the right mood after that. Everyone says it's just wonderful. It's about this plasto food worker, that's Roger. And he eats something that accidentally deconditions him. And when he sees June, he only wants her, but because he's sick, he doesn't want anybody else to have her either. So he comes all alone at night to the...
Oh, there is my June, just like the moon, up there in the sky like a big plastic pie.
Who's there? Roger? Roger? Where are you, Roger?
Here I am. Oh, come fly away with me and be my little Valentine. We'll engage all day and engage all night and soar forever to the highest height.
What is it? What's wrong?
You have to put your hand on the Feely mitt, or else you won't get all the effects.
Oh, Junie June, I swear by yonder moony moon.
No. Oh! I hear someone coming. You must go. Quick!
Saying goodbye is so much fun that I will keep it up till night is done.
No, it's wrong. Romeo and Juliet isn't like
And
that.
I am a Beethoven.
What's in a name tag?
Would you sit down, please?
Lenina, you shouldn't go to see things like that.
The feeling, you mean?
It was base and ignoble. It was unworthy of someone like you.
Well, I didn't know it was going to be like that. That it would be something that would upset you, I mean.
You didn't know? Well, then, that explains everything.
It does? Oh, then I'm glad.
Well, good night.
Good night. Aren't you... I mean, I thought that...
No.
Don't you like me? Don't you like the way I look? Why don't you just come in and...
No, I mustn't.